How about now? Can you hear my voice now? Man, today we're going to talk about the lions. We're going to talk about how the male lions will kill all the infant cubs when they show up, and how Mufasa was probably yesterday.
I thought you blew it out.
No, I thought I may have blown it out. Benda. All right, so today we're going to talk about lions. We're going to talk about welcome to Saturday. We're going to talk about how male lions are practicing infanticide when they take over a new pride. We're going to talk about how females do 90% of the hunting. We're going to talk about that and a whole lot more fun stuff about lions. Let's just turn the page and get started. I have to get past that microphone issue. But good morning, good morning, good morning. It is 30 in the morning on a Saturday morning, and my microphone died. Good morning, Rick. Good morning, Joe. My microphone died, so I thought I'd have some fun with the quiet studio. Hopefully you can hear me now, though, because I've got a Yeti right there, Yeti orb right there. It's not battery powered, so it won't die.
We can hear you.
Good. The Lion King song, the theme song to the Lion King, that's in the news lately. There's a comedian being sued for pointing out what the lyrics translate to. The lyrics, if you've ever read the lyrics in English, the lyrics translate to, "Hey, there's a lion. There's a lion coming. That's a lion. That's a lion. That's a lion. Hey, everybody. There's a lion. That's a lion. That's a lion. That's a lion. That's a lion." And a comedian who speaks Swahili, hey Cassandra, pointed that out. And the author of the song says, no, the word for lion could also mean king, and that's what we meant, was here, all hail, here comes the king. So even if you go with that definition, even if you go with that idea, the song is still, hey, here's the king, the king, the king. Hey, everybody, it's the king. Yep, it's the king, it's the king, it's the king. So it's still not... It's still not funny. I hope everybody's having a good Saturday morning. I slept like a starfish last night. I had the whole bed to myself because my wife and kids are out of town. And so I'm having a pretty good morning already. But yeah, it's the Lion King was one of my older kids' go-to movies, especially my oldest daughter. If we wanted to wake her up, we could just put that on, and she would come running down the hall to come watch it. And I think it's basically what, Hamlet? Is it Hamlet or is it Macbeth? I think it may be Macbeth. I get it confused every time I talk about it. Look at all those pencil lines there to confuse me. switch to pen. Hamlet. Cassandra says it's Hamlet. I get it confused. I know it's not A Midsummer's Night Dream, and I know it's not Romeo and Juliet. Lions have a roar that is about 114 decibels. Even on the quiet side, that's chainsaw. That's chainsaw loud. That's lawnmower loud. And the roar can be heard up to 5 miles away. And that is unique, and it's because lions have a specially shaped fold in their voice box, while most animals have a triangular shaped fold. Lions have a rectangular shaped fold that allows for an extra range of vibration. And that means that they can call mates without paying long distance charges. That means that they can intimidate other lions. They can claim territory. Miles and miles away without actually having to have confrontation. I'm sorry, what, Mother?
I was going to say, Cassandra said it's like how Oh Brother Art Thou is actually a retelling of the Odyssey, which she never knew. I didn't know that either.
Yes. See, and every time I try to talk about that, Midsummer Night's Dream is what comes to mind, and I start talking about Midsummer Night's Dream because the fantasy aspect of Oh Brother Where Art Thou, but it is the Odyssey, complete with the when they hit the island and they turn him into a pig that they're going to eat. She turned me into a frog. I am a man of constant sorrow. I sing that all the time, by the way. I'm already hung up on the details. I should not be this hung up on the details this early on. At this point in the state, I should still be focused on composition. But I don't know, I'm drawn to this thing. This thing is really kind of an interesting little toy. It's one of the more detailed toys I have, and it's just a lion. They grow their manes. The cubs start growing their manes at about 2 years old. When they start to hit sexual maturity. Good morning, Pamela. When they start to hit sexual maturity, and they have some variation in their manes. Some of the manes are quite blonde, and some of the manes are quite dark, as reflected in The Lion King when you see Scar with his dark coloration, and you see Mufasa with his lighter coloration. But the interesting thing about that in the wild is that the ladies would have been more attracted to the darker mane. And the reasoning is because you have to be a much healthier lion to have a darker mane. Darker manes come with some problems because of the heat management of the area the darker manes attract heat and trap heat on the lion's body. Lions can't sweat, so the darker mane attracts heat and traps it, and it causes problems. It causes deformations in their gametes, in their spermatozoa. It causes deformations in the little swimmers. But only the healthiest males with dark hair, only the healthiest males can survive with the dark hair, and so that makes it attractive to the females.
Cassandra says, which is weird that they didn't like Scar.
Exactly.
That's Irons even.
That's what I was alluding to. And you've got Jeremy Irons' sexy voice. You know, you'd think the ladies would have been more about that, but no. That's not what they portrayed.
You know, his start may portray evil.
But, you know, Lion King is not really a scientifically accurate representation, so I'm not really going to hold them at fault for not.
Cassandra says they chose Darth Vader instead.
You know, you'd be amazed how many people think Darth Vader is way more sexy than Luke.
The mystery.
Even before they knew he was Anakin Skywalker, even before they knew he was, I don't want to give any secrets away, you know, if you didn't know. Looks like a poodle.
Wasn't he voiced by James Earl Jones?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, he was.
That's just a lovely voice. Yeah, Pamela's right. It's a bad boy syndrome.
Bad boy syndrome.
Yeah, I agree, Cassandra. I love voices.
My mom likes the bad boys. That, if you knew my dad back in the day. Today, my dad's just a sweet little old man. Offering candy to all the redheads. Hey, little girl. Wait, no, that's me.
Yeah, I think you're confused.
That's me, sorry. This is my favorite part. This is the part that turns the whole process into a 3D or a dimensional object, as opposed to just lines on the page. It gives the whole thing depth. And I just love this.
Your dad's not above bonding with grandkids with candy. He's not innocent.
No, my dad is not innocent by any stretch of the imagination. I don't know that I'd go so far as to call him a bad boy, though. The females do 90% of the hunting, while the males spend their time guarding the territory. And it's interesting to watch the documentaries because, I've never actually watched a lion pride hunt, but the females will kill something and then take as many bites of it as they can before the lion saunders up, and he just saunders up, and when he gets there, they scatter, and then he eats his fill, and then they all come back and eat after him. Let me dry this real quick. One of the things the Lion King did get right, though, is the battle between Simba and what was the girl's name? Mala? Wasn't Mala. Nala with an N. November. Nala. One of the things they did get right was the battle between the two of them. Of course, they would have been brother and sister, but she's more nimble, more agile, and quicker than he is. He's stronger and bigger and more prone to violence, but she's more agile and more nimble. And in the pride itself is matriarchal because the males are usually out roaming the whole territory, protecting the pride from other lions and from other jackals and anything else that might be coming along to disturb the cubs and the moms. But for the most part, the pride is run by the females. And like I said earlier, they do 90% of the hunting. And when they hunt, they're going for zebras and wildebeest and antelope. But when the males hunt, the males go for buffalo and giraffes and big stuff, because when they hunt, it's usually because they're trying to impress the females.
Those characteristics relate to men as well.
Oh yeah, we're stupid for the girls, that's for sure. We're out working and digging ditches and building railroads and building cities and societies, and the women are staying home and raising the kids, or at least that's the way it was for hundreds of years.
But when they prepared a meal, the men ate first.
But you're only talking about society in the last 400 years, 500 years, maybe 1,000 years. But if you go back throughout history, it's always been a partnership, because there's absolutely no way one man can fend off all of the attacking critters. So the man and the woman were always partners. They always shared the details, the duties, all the way through our history. It's only a very recent model that the men went off to build cities and stuff and left the women at home with their little
things like raising kids.
Leave it to Beaver household.
Yeah.
That's a very recent concept, and I'm glad to see it kind of rejected, but I do like to joke about it. Let me dry this one more time so we can add some other colors. Cassandra says, "I wish they were matriarchal." When you say you wish they were matriarchal, who are you talking about? In my notes, I have them written down as matriarchal-ish because when the males come back around, they're a touch more violent, so they get they get deference when they come around. At about 5 years old, they get run out of the pride. They hang around the pride with their moms, and at about 5 they get run off. There's too much conflict between them and the dominant male. The females won't won't listen to them, and the females gang up on them, bite them, and run them off. And so then they go off, and they'll form a small pride with other similarly aged male lions, and then they'll work together to overtake another pride. But then one will rise up as the dominant male, and he will run the others off until they all go find their own pride or die. But for a while, they'll run around in gangs. When a male takes over a new pride, the first thing he does, and I alluded to this earlier, but you probably couldn't hear it because we had microphone issues. When he takes over a new pride, one of the first things he does is he kills off all of the infants. He kills off all of the young cubs. The lionesses try to defend him, but he kills as much of them as he can, because when they die, it's not just a matter of getting rid of the old lion's offspring. It also causes the females to go into estrus and allows him to begin mating right away. The old argument was that it was a way to make sure that his genes were the ones that got passed on because he's the biggest and the strongest, right? But it's not just that. There's more. There's actually more to it, more nuance.
Sandra doesn't like how they enter new prides after taking over the new prides, but she understands they want to sow their seeds.
Yeah, it's not just sowing their seeds. I mean, it's not just making sure their seed is the one that takes over, right? I mean, it's also that's what gets the females excited and ready to mate. Do 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 do. Female lions are 6 to 8 feet. Male lions are about 10 feet, which is about the equivalent of 3 baseball bats in length. Weigh about 500 pounds. That would be quite scary to be a human male confronting a male lion on the savannah. Let me dry this real quick. But Rick speaks to my heart. Rick says, "Yeah, but they can't get an apple fritter on Sunday mornings." You're absolutely right, Rick. That speaks to my heart. There's been a decline in lions from 2006. There was an estimated 33,000 lions throughout this, specifically African lions. There were about 33,000 estimated African lions across the different populations in 2006. By 2016, that population had dropped to 23,000. And the issue is, you have poachers killing lions for traditional medicine, believing that the different parts of the lion provide different health benefits, longevity, protection, health, strength, endurance. And then you have game hunters who just want to kill something big. And then you have ranchers in conflict with the lions because the lions kill their livestock. And people building houses and ranches out into the savannah, which I find that difficult to believe because the area where they are is not really conducive to humans. But humans being humans still manage to find reasons to war with the lions. But after 2016, from 2016 to 2026, the population is pretty much stabilized. The overall population is pretty much stabilized. They're still at about 23,000 individuals. Most of them in South Africa, the southern areas, and the eastern populations and western populations are still dying off. And the problem is stability. The areas where they have stable government, they have instituted conservative efforts, and they are part of the way they're growing is through economic tourism. People paying to come see the reservations, and the entire community profits off of that. So the areas where the government is more stable, the lion populations are growing, and that's great. In the areas where the governments are unstable and the civilizations are interfighting, the lions are not doing so hot. They're dwindling over there. But overall, they're still in danger. But overall, the population has stabilized at around 23,000 individuals. What is today? The 25th. I am a big proponent of ecotourism. Ecotourism of April, 25th of April. Ecotourism brings people in to see the animals instead of killing the animals, instead of exploiting the animals. Ecotourism brings people in to witness the animals and learn about the animals, and the whole community profits off that. The people have to stay someplace. So you've got the hotel industry and the restaurant industry, the service industry. They shop. They buy souvenirs. There's the travel industry. And then there's the construction. Everything grows because people flock to the ecotourism sites. They make them vacation destinations. So I'm a big proponent of that as a method of conservation. All right, so there is enough preaching. I'm gonna stop preaching. What are we talking about? Today an apple. My mom says today an apple fritter sounds really good. Gaming with Just Joe said, "Man, apple fritter sounds good." Donut shop will be closed here by the time I'm able to get one. Now I'm just hungry. I've spoken to make Instinct. It's Saturday, therefore it's fritter day. Sunday as well. I'll tell you what, we have an apple fritter. We have a shop, Voodoo Donuts. We have a Voodoo Donuts up the road, and their apple fritters are so much better than my local apple fritter. But that's a $6-7 apple fritter, and it's not close to my house, so I'm a cheapskate. Anyway, there is my line compared to the photograph. Let's see what it looks like from my perspective. You know, they live about 12 to 16 years in the wild, which is a long time. You know, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good lifespan in the wild. But in captivity, they live about 20 years. Yeah, Voodoo Donuts. Voodoo Donuts makes all the insane donuts. That's right. They make the Cap'n Crunch donuts, and they make their Voodoo donut looks like a little voodoo doll and has raspberry filling down where there would be blood. It's a very, very good donut. So there it is. There it is from my perspective. So that's what I did today. What do we have tomorrow? Oh my goodness, the suspense. What could it be? What could it be? What could it be? Tomorrow. Oh! Are we taking votes? Did you guys decide to vote on what it might be? Because it's a frog. Specifically, it's a Zimmerman's dart frog. These guys, their tadpoles are carnivorous, and they deposit their tadpoles specifically where there are other tadpoles. The male will carry the eggs and tadpoles to little pools where there are other tadpoles, so that their babies can eat the other babies. We'll talk about that and more fun Zimmerman dart frog facts tomorrow morning at 5:30 a.m. Texas time while we sketch this little hopper. So you may want to set that notification bell so you don't miss that. So guys, thank you so much for joining me. You know I look forward to this every day. It is my favorite part of the day when I get to art with my besties. I truly do, even on Saturday mornings, even though in about 30 minutes I am going to go back to bed. even on a Saturday morning, I truly do just love getting up and arting with you guys. Mom, Dad, Rick, Joe, Cassandra, Pamela. Who am I missing? Did I miss somebody? I don't think I missed anybody. So guys, thank you.
And Vermilion in our future.
Yep. You didn't. I didn't announce the Vermilion this time. I just waited for you to shout it out. So guys, thank you so much for joining me. Be sure and tune in tomorrow. Same Artistic Biker time, same Artistic Biker channel, and then we dance. We dance until somebody says they see me dancing. Because when they see me dancing, I will know that the lag has caught up with the stream, and that will make sure that I don't get cut off mid-sentence. It gives you a chance to click the clicky thingies this way if you're on the horizontal, or this way if you're on the vertical. Everybody gets a chance to say their hellos and goodbyes and share information with each other.